Yesterday, Nick Saban said he should not have singled out Texas A&M when he said the school used name, image, and likeness deals to buy their top-ranked recruiting class. However, Saban added, quote, "I didn't really say that anybody did anything wrong." Really? Shannon, is there any truth to what Saban said?
No, Skip, he needs to stop with the semantics. Just own it. Just own it. 8 of the last 10 years, Coach Saban has had the number 1 recruiting class. In the year that he didn't, he finished 2nd, he finished 5th. If there was nothing going on, why did you make such a big deal out of it? If Texas A&M did everything by the book, why did you make such a big deal and made it a point to call out A&M by name?
He did.
He made it seem like A&M was the only college team that had an NIL deal. Nobody else had it. That somehow Texas A&M had an unfair advantage because they had these NIL deals and no one else did. When he was raving about his very quarterback potentially having a 7-figure deal and had never thrown a pass yet. He didn't say a word about NIL. Didn't have, Bryce Young, I think he probably has 7-figure. I think he's doing quite well. It was all key when it was him. And so if there's nothing wrong, why the fuss? If you want to say, well, I didn't say anybody did anything wrong. You made, look, and the reporter was quick to call it, you said they bought. You said they bought that entire recruiting class.
Every player. Bought every player. So, that was the quote unquote.
So if there is nothing wrong with it, why would you point that out? So it was kind of scary, and I was thinking about it. I said, this kind of reminds you of what Lance Armstrong. Everybody that Lance Armstrong beat, they tested positive for drugs. Lance was the only clean one. I'm like, well, hell, how does the clean guy beat all the dirty guys? So now, all of a sudden, for all these years, Coach Saban, everybody doing something wrong.
Yep.
Coach Saban's getting number 1 recruiting class, number 1 receiver, number 1 running back, number 1 offensive line, number 2 defensive lineman.
Yep.
The top this, top that. But that class that Texas A&M got this year was bought and paid for. It's even if you didn't directly say they're cheating, it was the implication that you gave. And now you're trying to hide around semantics because of the blowback that you've received. Just own it. If a player tried to do this with Coach Saban when he said he was wrong, and then all of a sudden he tried to get into a semantics, Coach Saban would be livid.
Yep.
The one thing that Coach Saban demands from his players are accountability. And now Coach Saban wants to skirt that very accountability that he demands from his players. Just own it, Coach Saban. You know what you were implying. You know what the implications were. So just own this one. Don't get out of here with these semantics. I don't do the semantic thing.
I cannot tell you how much I appreciate the high decibel, emotional objectivity from my partner across the table who loves him some Saint Nick.
Yeah.
We've called him for years and years. Are we now arriving at the point in which we can do away with the Saint in front of Nick?
Nah.
Will we continue to use Saint?
I'm still upset, but he better win a national championship.
One of those deals, because you're a Roll Tide all the way. You didn't go to Alabama, but you have
They're my
adopted
second
them.
favorite team, behind Savannah State.
Okay, I got it. I have told you from the start, I can't be a fan of this man because he is so smug, he is so condescending, he is so holier than thou. In the end, he can't be Saint Nick because he bullies the media a la Popovich in San Antonio and just gets away with it because he is, as Jimbo sarcastically said, the czar of college football. And I'm going to quickly read Jimbo's salvo from, what was it, a couple of weeks back now? He's going to talk today, so we may get another one. Jimbo said, this is May 19th, actually. He said, some people think they're God. Yeah. Go dig into how God did his deal, how he operates.
Yeah.
And Jimbo worked for God.
Yeah, for 4 years.
Yeah. You may find out about a guy a lot of things you don't want to know. We built him up to be the czar of football. Go dig into his past or anybody that's ever coached with him. You can find out anything you want to find out, what he does and how he does it. And it's despicable, said Jimbo Fisher of St. Nick. Okay, now back to the quote yesterday. It is God defending himself. That's how it came across, right? Because he is hiding behind the semantics. Because if you go technically, he said, I didn't really say that anybody did anything wrong because what is he's acknowledging is that the rules are no rules, that
Right.
you can do exactly what A&M did. They didn't break any rules,
Right.
and Jimbo fired back. I didn't break a single rule,
Right.
because all bets are off.
Thank you.
You can do this.
Right.
You can recruit with it,
Right.
and you can pay.
Well, you shouldn't be allowed to use the NIL as a recruiting tool.
No,
you do.
You do. And what kills me about the hypocrisy of St. Nick is that back during the season, he boasted several times about Bryce Young is making more than $1 million.
Thank you.
NIL. Well, did you use it to recruit him? Well, you probably did, but I don't know that for a fact. Then he boasted that there are 15 other players on the team who totaled $3 million in NIL deals, and I think that would probably be low.
Right.
But he was boasting about it because you need to boast about it, because that's the way of the world.
But you know what, Skip, when they keep telling the NIL deals, I need to go to one of these college towns, and I'm going to need to see some kids on some billboards. I'm going to need to see some commercials, because they keep telling me about these NIL deals, and I don't know what the hell they promoting, and I don't know what the hell they doing. So that you hide behind NIL, but I'm going to go to Alabama, I'm going to go somewhere, and I'm going to watch TV all night, and I'm going to see what kid pops up there promoting the car deal or some cereal.
Allegedly, they're being paid to use their likeness, right, by the car dealer.
Oh, yeah, so I'm going to need to see it.
Okay. Maybe in some cases you would see it. In others, I don't think you would. But Saban's on his soapbox about we need new rules and regulations. Every coach yesterday at the SEC day, they were all on their soapbox, all of them. Name a coach they got on their soapbox about the NIL deal.
Because here's the thing, Skip. At one point in time, you could say, look at these facilities. Oregon State, they had one, you got barber's chairs, and you had all these dip tanks, the cold tub, you had everything, cryotherapy. And you had these massive facilities. Skip, you had a football field, and you had a weight room surrounding it. The facilities are obsolete. The kids are asking you now, them NIL, how much you got for your boy? I mean, hey, I don't care about no facility. Because guess what? 45-pound plate is a 45-pound plate in Nebraska, Oklahoma, or Alabama.
I agree.
But them NILs, they hit different. So Texas A&M got that oil money. Mm-hmm. Jimbo Fisher's a good offensive mind. You mean to tell me if Jimbo Fisher got $2 million in NIL and you got $150,000, $200,000 in Alabama, you think I'm not going, considering the situation in which I came from? A lot of these kids, Skip, they're not coming from no great backgrounds, and they got money like that. So, Coach Saban, you know how this thing works.
That's how it works.
And he know that. And he go, well, here's the thing. This is how apology works. You apologize, and you don't make an excuse for what you said. That's a true apology. But Skip, when you say but, nah, ain't no but. I apologize. I was wrong. I shouldn't have said what I said. I apologize for saying it. Coach Saban, you know better than this. I mean, things that Coach Saban is trying to get away with, he would have never allowed his players to make these excuses or use these semantics to wiggle up out of something. Come on, Coach. Just own it. You were wrong. If they did nothing wrong, I ain't never seen somebody make this big a fuss about something that was right. Skip, if it's a rule and they didn't break the rule, why am I yelling and screaming my hair is on fire? Oh, I can't believe they did this. Hey, look at them. Look what they're doing. What are they doing? Skip, it's kind of like if you driving along and you're not speeding, the first thing you ask the cop, why'd you pull me over, officer? If I ain't do anything wrong, no improper lane change, I don't got illegal tint, I'm within the speed limit, why the hell you pulled me over? Coach Saban, if they did nothing wrong, why the hell you yelling and screaming like they did?
Well, there you go. So he continued to say yesterday, I have no problem with Jimbo at all, because he can't have a problem with Jimbo because he took a shot. He took an all-time shot at him. He did say he regretted naming a name, using an institution by name. He also took a shot at Dion. Right?
Yes.
But in the end, this salvo that I read you from Jimbo, I think it's the all-time shot at a major college coach, a legendary college coach that I have ever seen uttered publicly, ever.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, Jimbo went, he went hard in the paint on that one.
And then he said, I don't care if he calls me, I'll never talk to him again. It will be interesting to see if he doubles down or starts to backtrack on that today.
Yeah, well, because he reached out It was reported that Coach Saban did reach out to Jimbo. Jimbo was like, I ain't got nothing. It was reported that he reached out to Time, and Time said, nah, you took this shot at me in public. We need to have this our public discourse.
Correct.
We ain't got to have no private
I love
discourse.
that. That was a touche.
Absolutely.
Jimbo certainly took it personally, and can't blame him after all the years those two spent together coaching. All right, guys, is Steph Curry a lock to win his first Finals MVP? That's coming up next on Undisputed.